Palaces of Tamilnadu, Aranmanaigal. Among dozens of palaces which were noteworthy for their manifold excellence and which existed as a part of 7 fort complexes, a few, having withstood the test of time, still remain as grand testimony to the greatness of Tamil culture and tradition. There are around 7 major palaces in Tamil Nadu. Among them 4 palaces, namely Ramalinga Vilas of Setupati kings, Palace of Padmanabhapuram near Kanyakumari, Thirumalai Nayakar Mahal at Madurai, and Tanjore Palace are taken up for detailed study. Ramalinga Vilas. Ramalinga Vilas, also known as Shivaganga Palace, has stood as a mute witness to several historical happenings. It has borne the brunt of many revolts and uprisings. It has had its quota of joyous occasions as well as moments of sadness associated with its occupants, great kings and queens who lived and died. Ramalinga Vilas Palace was built by old King Setupati around 1780 in the Shivaganga state. The palace consists of a temple, a big mandapam, a harem, women's quarters, and a small swimming pool. All of them are almost in a dilapidated condition due to the passage of time. The outer wall of 18 feet height now has many cracks and has lost its sheen. The palace encouraged rich literary tradition, and men of learning were encouraged by rulers. According to a literary anthology titled Perundogai, the palace had hundreds of men of learning equal to the sage Agastya. Many poets had their poetic words inaugurated in this palace before royalty and men of letters. Aragiya Chitrambala Kavirayars, Dalasingamalai, Amirtha Kavirayars, Uruthurekkovai, Chokkanadars, Panavidithudu was some of the literary works inaugurated in the palace hall of Ramalinga Vilasam, and the poets were honoured with awards. The Setupati kings who reigned from Ramanathapuram Palace, that is, Ramalinga Vilasam, belonged to one of the clans of Maravars, who are traditional warrior clan who are famous for their valour and heroism. The literary work Kalingattu Parani by Jayam Kondar spoke about the greatness of Maravars. Setupatis, who lived and reigned from the Ramalinga Vilas, belonged to this rich royal tradition and marked by valour and prowess. This entire palace was given away as dowry to one chieftain called Sasivarna Periya Udayathevar when King Setupati gave his sister's daughter in marriage to him. The entrance of the palace has got a big tower with a pot-like pinnacle. The opening entrance of the palace, as well as the other 4 sides, high pillar-like minarets are seen, showing Mohammedan architectural influence. The palace has got the pride of place in hosting 2 great men who were famous in their own right. It was in the Darbar hall of this palace where Veerapandya Kattabomman, the mighty warrior, who had a wordy duel with the representative of the Britishers, Jackson Durai.
வானம் பொழிகிறது, பூமி விளைகிறது, உனக்கு ஏன் கொடுப்பது கிஸ்தி? எங்களோடு வயலுக்கு வந்தாயா, ஏத்தம் இறைத்தாயா, நீர்பாய்ச்சி நெடுவயல் நிறைய கண்டாயா, நாற்று நட்டாயா, களை பறித்தாயா, கடனிவாழ் உழவருக்கு கஞ்சி கரையும் சுமந்தாயா, அங்கு கொஞ்சி விளையாடும் எங்குல பெண்களுக்கு மஞ்சள் அரைத்து பணிபுரிந்தாயா, அல்லது நீ மாமனா மச்சானா? மானங்கெட்டவனே, எதற்கு கேட்கிறாய் திரை? யாரை கேட்கிறாய் வரி? போரடித்து நெற்குவிக்கும் மேடி நாட்டு உழவர் கூட்டம் பரங்கியரின் விடலையும் போரடித்து தலைதனை நெற்கதிர்களாய் குவித்து விடும் ஜாக்கிரதை.
It was here that Bhaskara Setupati requested Swami Vivekananda to go over to Chicago to participate in the Parliament of Religions in the year 1893. Velu Nachiyar, warrior queen daughter of Sellamuttu, the king of Ramnad, she had fought valiantly against the Britishers. Some scholars consider her as the first lady to fight the alien Britishers even before Rani of Jhansi, after her husband was treacherously killed by the Britishers with the help of the Nawab of Arcot. She, with the help of Hyder Ali, recaptured Shivaganga Palace during 1780 after 8 years of exile. She was adept in martial arts and also in Urdu, which helped her to directly discuss her problems with Hyder Ali. This palace is a treasure house of rare paintings. After the old King Setupati, his son Raghunatha Setupati took over the reign. He was a lover of fine arts. He called skilled painters and decorated the palace walls with exquisite paintings. According to Dr. Nagaswamy, expert in heritage sites, these paintings belong to the 18th century. In the front mandapam called Mukha Mandapam, Vaishnavite mythological themes have been created through attractive colors. In the first floor, in the ladies' chamber, love themes from the epics Ramayana, Mahabharata and Bhagavatam are depicted, along with paintings on erotic themes. These paintings are fantastic. These paintings were done using dyes made from leaves and flowers. The painting gallery has portrait paintings depicting royalty and scenes of war in which they took part. In the front mandapa, war scenes between Tanjavur King Sarfoji I and Muttu Raghunatha Setupati are depicted with minute detail. In 1988, the Department of Archaeology of the Government of Tamil Nadu took over the preservation and maintenance work. Having faced much political turmoil, Ramalinga Vilasam still stands as pale testimony with its light yellow color, reminding us its checkered history of its royal occupants, their tears and laughter. Padmanabhapuram Palace. Padmanabhapuram Palace is a part of Padmanabhapuram Fort. Kings of Wayanad, who were the descendants of Chera kings of Tamil Nadu, built a strong fort and a palace. Padmanabhapuram was known as Kalkulam till 1744 AD. Having won many battles, including with Dutch settlers, changed his capital to Thiruvananthapuram and submitted all its territories to Lord Padmanabhaswamy. Hence, he got his royal name as Padmanabhadasan, and Kalkulam town came to be known as Padmanabhapuram. This town is encircled by a strong fort. The minimum height of the fort will be around 16 feet and the maximum height will be 24. There are 4 main gates in all 4 directions, and in addition to that, there are a number of emergency exits. This fort stands testimony to the defense skills of Wayanad kings. Inside the fort premises, there are a number of old temples, and Wayanad King's Palace stands as evidence to their rich cultural legacy. Nilakanta Swami Koil is built as per traditional Dravidian style. This is one of the oldest temples, since this temple has a rock-cut edict which belongs to 1237 AD. In the northwestern side of the fort, there is a shrine for Lord Rama. Unique features of this temple is that the entire Ramayana epic has been depicted in 45 wooden planks. This is one of the much acclaimed pieces of heritage and is kept in good condition here. The palace inside the fort shows distinct features of different varieties of building structures as per the taste of kings of Wayanad dynasty. The first floor of the palace is called Mandirasale. Here, the kings used to discuss matters of political importance with the ministers and war generals. The place is marked by exquisite beauty with sparkling floor structure like marble. The place next to Mandirasale is called Uttupurai, the feeding mansion, where Wayanad kings used to feed 2,000 poor and needy people daily. These kings were called Dharmarajas, owing to their liberal charity. The next important area of the palace is its armory. It contains not only the arms used by the kings of Wayanad, but also the arms captured by them from the Dutch people during battles fought at a place called Kulachal. The Wayanad kings administered justice in a rigid manner. Major punishments were given even for minor crimes. The instruments used while executing the punishment are also kept as display. Because of strict punishments, the kingdom was free from major crimes. The most attractive portion of the palace is called Upparigai Maligai, a balcony-like structure with large rooms. In one of the lower portions of this grand place, there is a big wooden cot made by mixing 64 different varieties of herbal wooden planks. The third floor contains the puja room of the kings. The walls of this room are decorated with beautiful paintings. Chitralayam, a place of paintings, contains some historical incidents connected with Wayanad dynasty. The Dutch general surrendering before King Martandavarman and the king's visit to Buddhan Dam are unforgettable excellence in art. Next to the gallery of paintings is the platform, where the king used to sit and listen to the grievances of the people. At the rear end of the palace is the Navaratri Mandapam. It contains exquisitely carved sculptures of Tirumagal and Deepalakshmis, the damsels sporting lamps in their hands. Padmanabhapuram Castle and Palace Complex indicate the rich legacy left by the Wayanad kings, who were a political force during the 18th century in the region of Kanyakumari district in Tamil Nadu. Thirumalai Nayakar Palace at Madurai. This palace was built in the year 1636 AD by Thirumalai Nayakar, who ruled between 1627 and 1659. This palace can be regarded as one of the most beautiful secular structures in the whole of southern India. The palace has three distinct architectural styles: traditional Tamil architectural style, Indo-Saracenic and Italian structural styles. According to tradition, the king is said to have sought the help of an Italian architect in designing the building. The building, which is extant today, was the main building in the palace premises where Thirumalai lived. But it is believed that the palace complex was much bigger than what it is today. The grand palace built by him consists of two main edifices, namely Swargavilasa and Rangavilasa. Apart from these two royal homes, there was a theatre, a palace shrine and queen's apartment. In addition to this, the palace complex also had a place for storing arms and ammunitions, a shed for keeping palanquins, a royal bandstand, quarters for relatives and servants. To enhance the beauty of the ambience, a pond and a garden were also there. The palace had a strong enclosure wall called Parimadil, which was 300 meters in length and 200 meters width with 12 meters in height, which survived till the early part of last century. The building, which is intact now, has a rectangular courtyard in the center, flanked by huge and tall colonnades in the main palace area. The entrance to this main area was originally in the northern direction to the present building. The present entrance was repaired during the 19th century by Britishers. The courtyard measures 50 meters in the east and western direction by 32 meters in northern and southern direction. This courtyard is surrounded on all sides by arcades of very great beauty. The pillars which support the arches are of stone, 12 meters in height, and are joined by foliated brick arcade of exquisite beauty and excellence in design. The whole ornamental design was worked out in the finely pulverized stucco called chunam or shell lime. Swargavilasam or the Celestial Pavilion. As the name suggests, the structure is exquisitely built with a large central dome-like structure supported by 12 columns. These columns are first linked together through arches. From those linked arches, an octagonal drum-like structure is raised, and towards the top it changes into a circular shape. It is 25 meters in height from the floor level. This celestial pavilion, the Swargavilasa, contains structures with splendid ornamentation, with curious workmanship and great beauty. In the midst of a great dome-shaped hall a square-shaped building paved with black stone, and inside that there is a chamber made up of ivory. In the middle of this, there is a jeweled throne on which the king usually took his seat. At the Navaratri festival time during the Tamil month of Purattasi, September, the 9 nights festival, the king used to bedeck himself with costly gems and jewels to give audience. People, and at that time feudal chiefs, who paid tributes by presenting costly jewels to the king. Nadagasale or theatre. This building has a huge ball with arches supported on columns. Behind the upper series of these arches runs a gallery. According to one tradition which says that this room was Thirumalai Nayakkar's sleeping apartment and that his cot hung on chains from hooks in the roof, Dr. R. Nagaswamy, former Director of Department of Archaeology, Government of Tamil Nadu. During the later period, for many years, this chamber was used as the district court. According to Dr. R. Nagaswamy, this splendid hall was used as theatre, Nadaga Rangam, where the king, accompanied by his queen and guests, used to witness dances in the evenings performed by beautiful damsels well versed in their art. Further north to this structure, in a lane at present seen 10 tall pillars of stones. Originally, this portion was a part of Rangavilasa. It seems there was a small palace similar to Rangavilasa, where King Thirumalai Nayakkar's younger brother, Mutteyalu Nayakkar, lived. To the eastern side of the 10-pillar structure stood the main entrance and Nahabat Khana, a pavilion to store musical instruments. It is said that 18 different types of musical instruments used to be played as part of daily royal routine. Though it was dilapidated, it was used for official purposes by the British. Apart from palace premises, probably Rangavilasa and adjoining structures were pulled down by Thirumalai Nayakkar's grandson Chokkanatha Nayakkar, who shifted his capital from Madurai to Trichy. In 1858, after the rains, when a portion of the palace fell down, Lord Napier, the then governor of Madras, wrote about the necessity of restoring the structure, and Mr. Chisholm, the government architect, was deputed to assess the possibility of restoring the monument. 10,000 rupees was earmarked in the budget of the year 1870-71 to repair the building. By 1882, 2,13,000 rupees had been spent, and the structure was supported by iron bars along with plaster works, and paintings were done without damaging the original structure. Various public offices were then functioning from the palace premises. District courts continued to function from these till 1970. Since 1971, the palace is being preserved as a monument by the Tamil Nadu State Department of Archaeology, and the palace is kept open to public from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tanjore Palace. Tanjore or Tanjai changed form of the original form of the Tamil word Tanchai, which means a place with cool gardens and green fields. For several years, Tanjai was a seat of political and cultural importance. It was the Chola kings who gave the pride of place to Tanjore. They not only made Tanjore and adjoining places as the granaries of the south, but also gave a feast to the eyes by erecting splendid monuments like Tanjai Periyakoil. Chola period can be regarded as the golden age in the history of Tamil Nadu, which marked all-round development in different spheres of activities like literature, fine arts, art and architecture, which came to fruition owing to peace and political stability. The same spirit of patronizing art and culture was carried forward by Nayak kings who ruled Tanjai and followed ably by Maratha rulers who came after them. The contribution made by King Sarfoji II was noteworthy. Tanjore Palace, which exists now, was built by Nayak kings who ruled Tanjore and expanded subsequently by Maratha rulers. The palace premises contain King's Chamber, dwelling of royalty and officials, harem or the ladies' apartments, armory, gunpowder tower, bell tower, Darbar Hall of Nayak Kings, Saraswati Mahal, Sangeeta Mandapam, Music Hall, 7-storied complex, Darbar Hall of Maratha Kings, and stables for horses and elephants. Apart from these, the unique feature of the palace are its paintings and images made by white line, which are noteworthy. The first premises in the palace complex was named as Lakshmi Vilasam, the complex named after the goddess Lakshmi, where military generals and defense staff used to dwell. At the entrance of the Darbar Hall of Nayak Kings, an exquisite image of Brahma, the creator, adorns the place. Darbar Hall was originally built by Nayak King Vijay Raghunatha Nayakar, and it was named Sri Rama Chautam, the Palace of Rama. The western side of the Darbar Hall contains beautiful images of Lord Rama, Sita and Hanuman. At the central portion of the hall, there is a platform-like structure. On this platform stands the marble statue of King Sarfoji II, the illustrious king of Marathas, the main motivation force behind Saraswati Mahal Library. In this place, many bronze sculptures brought from different places are kept for public view. Ayudha Gopuram. This structure is made up of 9 tiers like normal temple towers. Flights of steps are there to climb up. It appears like the temple tower of Tanjore Big Temple. Built by the Nayak kings of Tanjore, it also contains sculptures of mythological personalities connected with Lord Vishnu at the outer walls around the tower. Mani Mandapam, Bell Tower. The bell tower was called Mani Mandapam and Dolle Kadu Mandapam because it was shaped like a hole with the ear, which is normally put on by ladies for wearing earrings. This is a 7-tiered structure, and the top portion of the structure fell off. The structure used to contain a big bell. Saraswati Mahal Library. The structure opposite to Nayakar Darbar Hall is the Saraswati Mahal Library, which was created during Nayak kings, and it was during the reign of Sarfoji II, the Maratha ruler, that it got a pride of place as one of the foremost treasure houses of knowledge. It contains valuable palm leaf manuscripts in different languages, collected from different parts of Tamil Nadu, India, and even from European countries on different topics like literature, art, sciences, history, medicine, culture, and tradition. Tamil manuscripts. The Saraswati Mahal, containing rare Tamil palm leaf manuscripts of Tolkappiyam, Thiruvaimozhi, Naladiyar, Perundevanar's Bharatam, along with Siddha medical text titled Sarabendra Vaidya Muregal. Darbar Mandapam of Marathas. In the eastern side of Saraswati Mahal, after entering the gate at the southern side, an open courtyard would be seen. In the eastern side of the courtyard stands the Darbar Hall of Maratha Kings. It contains a veranda with huge pillars made from Ilukpai tree and Burma teak wood. The Darbar Hall has a beautiful canopy with glass pieces fixed on it. It contains exquisite works of art. It is from here the Maratha kings ruled. The palace paintings belong to later Nayak kings who ruled Tanjore as well as the Maratha period. Some of the paintings which were hidden behind the lime coating were restored by the Department of Archaeology. Some of the paintings show the life of royal people with their retinues of soldiers and men. These paintings belong to later Nayak period. In the northern side of the eastern wall, Lord Muruga, along with his consorts, is depicted beautifully. In the central portion of the Maratha Mandapam stands the lifelike portrait of Sarfoji II, the Maratha ruler, with his fine moustache. This is a beautiful piece of painting belonging to the Maratha style. The painting throws light on the costumes worn by royalty in those days. In the eastern wall, the paintings of Venugopala with Radha and Rukmini offers a feast to the eyes. Some of the other paintings near this got destroyed due to the passage of time. The palace premises also contain underground tunnels or the use of kings and their families at the time of emergency. One such tunnel is around 8.5 feet in height with 2.6 feet in breadth. The internal portion of the tunnel is plastered with mud with openings for air circulation. 7-tiered palace. To mark the visit of King Sarfoji II to Kashi, he has built this 7-tiered palace structure, which is the tallest building in the complex. In addition to this, there are palace shrines for Kali and Anjaneya. The houses of younger princes in the palace premises contains pillars and beams. It also contains beautiful paintings in Maratha style. Tanjore Palace stands as an epitome of art, architecture of the Nayak and Maratha kings, along with Saraswati Mahal, the grand treasure house of knowledge. Most of the ancient palaces built by Tamil kings were destroyed by frequent wars among themselves. Usually, the winner destroyed the palaces of the vanquished. But because of the deep religious fervor of Tamil kings, temples were spared. There are several palaces still existing in Tamil Nadu which portray the rich cultural heritage of the Tamil people.